Yo, yo, yo. How's it going? So, today I took two trades, two losses. Um, you know, the for the majority of the day, I was very disciplined, and I uh, I think I did a great job. It just kind of came down to exactly where I chose to enter was just bad. But um, I think today, although still another red day, I think it was a great improvement from sort of how I've been trading recently. So I think you know kudos to me for the beginning of the day, and that's something good to take away. And I'll sort of get into that. But so going into today, we had huge sell-off, generated another sell side level. So I wanted to see us come into anywhere in here, right? Anywhere from the 50% to the 79% retracement to look to take a short. Another confluence for that is if you look at both NQ and ES. So what I had was, this stands for regular trading hours gap low and the gap high. And then I also marked out the quarterly percentile, so the 25, 50, and 75% of that, because these could possibly be sensitive areas. But for the most part, it's just sort of confluence with, OT or the range. ES ended up filling this almost perfectly. It came up one tick above the gap before selling off. So, uh, that's just something to put in the journal right there. But anyway, we come into OT the range as well. A bit deeper of a retracement for ES, and Q was a bit more bearish. But so we sort of held on to this big 1 hour as well, but I'll move it out of the way just so that it doesn't blind anybody. But looking at the 15, so we were rallying all day from the beginning of the day, which I was actually looking for sell models in here, so in this 15-minute fair value gap, because looking at this, we had tapped into discount into this 1 hour, and then boom, had like big displacement move below this low. So I was looking for shorts in here, but we ended up, it was us taking London low, and then looking at a 1-minute chart, there was just no short model anyway. We just sort of completely ripped right through it. And I guess earlier in the day, I guess you could have taken a long or something, but just not my forte there. I was really looking for sell side of the curve. But anyway, so 15-minute chart. We come up, I was kind of looking for lunch highs to get taken, but we had some pretty big displacement. So at that point, I was like, all right, it doesn't really matter. It's just a lunchtime reversal. So you see those relatively often. So zooming into the 5, we had massive displacement right at 130. Pull back into a 5-minute, and then another very big displacement candle down. These, this sort of 45 minutes of price action was just extremely efficient, and then sort of died out the rest of the day. But I would have been looking for a short in here, but we didn't even come up to this original fair value gap, and there was really no, even zooming into the 15-second chart, there was just no model that I was willing to play off of. And so we did come into, OT of the range before rejecting. Just not really looking for a trade here. Also, this is a very massive range, so like, there's no shot I'm placing a 50-point stop loss, right? And even if I did sort of get something in here, there is possibility that we come and tap into this. I also was not going to have a 35-point stop loss either, so just way too volatile for me right there. So we just place down again, and then in this second 5-minute fair value gap is when I was looking for an opportunity here. So we have this 5-minute. I know it looks a little ugly with all my drawings, but zooming into this 5-minute, we made a high, and then we ended up rejecting that on ES. It was looking a little bit different. We on ES, you had like a little SMT here originally, but that sort of got like mitigated, I guess, when you create relative equal highs here, because the SMT didn't really like hold for displacement to the downside. We ended up generating more buy side here, and so when I opened up my charts on my phone at work, I think here I was just a bit too eager to sort of like look for a short after seeing us reject this 5-minute, that I didn't really take the time to just sit here and look at the chart at this point in time and say like, all right, we already just ran out this low resistance liquidity. We took some form of sell side here. We have relative equal highs and buy side resting here, which is just low resistance liquidity to the upside. Like, maybe I should be careful in this area, So I didn't think like that with a clear mind. I just, saw this big 1-minute, and I just basically zoomed in and was like, all right, I'm going to look for an internal model in this 1-minute, and that's that, And I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of trading on your phone is, if I could trade on my computer, I would. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like cycling through time frames is so hard that things like this, it's my fault. I should have definitely seen this in the first place and then not zoomed in, but I just saw this big 1-minute and I just like zoomed in, and I was like, all right, when I see an internal model on a lower time frame chart, I'm gonna take it. So we came up, we took this high, we pushed down, and this was like, for me, I was like, all right, we shifted market structure to the downside, pull back to fair value gap short. But in reality, we just, if you zoom out a bit, we just tapped into this 1-minute and bounced to go take out the generated buy side from earlier. So, just shouldn't have taken this loss, but seem to always have at least one dumb loss. So I gotta try to reduce things like this, because going into my next trade, I was trying to keep my loser small, or not keep my loser small, but I was trying to keep my risk small because I had already taken a loss on the day, right? So I should have just waited for this, and then I'm going to remove this so it's a little bit easier to see now. So this ended up being that turtle soup where you just take the high and dump. but I'm not really confident in trading something like that, especially we have this fair value gap. I don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, we take that, and this right here is the start of you now seeing we're rejecting off this 5-minute. We took buy side, we generated all that buy side, we took it, displacement down through an actual swing low, not just like a 15-second swing low. This was an actual swing low, displacement through it, and then we have a big 1 minute here with a sell side level below, when ultimately I'm in the mindset that this is going to be the draw on liquidity at some point. So zooming in, I took basically, we tapped into this 1 minute, and I was just thinking at this point, like, alright, that looks clean, right? Like, this looks clean. I was like, alright, I'm confident this is the draw on liquidity now. So I just like assumed we were just gonna like dump, basically. We were just gonna tap into this and dump after having this big move to the downside. And so my mistake here, like, I don't think it's all that bad, but I think the problem with the setup is if you're gonna take a like a short or something, right? I have to allow for us to come into discount of the range, or this would be the premium of the range, I guess. I like to call it discount, but above 50% retracement. Like, price loves to do that, right? It's to get an optimal entry. So my stop loss should realistically allow for price to come into this range. And I was just trying to find the exact top to this sell model. And when you're looking at the 15-second chart, it doesn't look all that bad, right? But the problem is like the context of it. So you come in 1 minute, you take out these highs, you push down. We didn't really break through any swing low. That's another negative. So I just shorted off the inverse, thinking we were just going to tap this and rip to the downside. We did end up having a good displacement move off of that, but then I ended up getting stopped out because we just wanted to come up into discount in the range before selling off. So I think the better play here would have just been to not take that first loss, see this, and then just say, like, okay, we have a 1 minute here, and we have a clear 30-second here as well. And we also have some gaps, like 15-second and 30-second up in this range in OTE. So if anything, I should have just smacked a short at the 50% retracement, or right on that 30-second, because the 1 minute would have been a bit too big of a stop loss for my liking, to be honest. That's I don't really like much more than a 20-point stop max. So if I had went on the 30-second, I would have probably had my stop right up above this candle, right about 20 points, and just let it ride down to the low there, and you would have gotten a great entry. I would have possibly gotten stopped out here. Like, there's a very real chance that I would have moved my stop loss somewhere over here, and gotten stopped out at break even. But at the end of the day, I think this was the better play, rather than just trying to find the exact top, on this little internal model, just too zoomed in. That's the moral of the story lately for me, is just too zoomed in. And then even here, I guess there was some opportunities as well, right? We came back into OTE of this range. We had a 1 minute, big 1 minute there as well, right? Came back, tapped this 1 minute fair value gap again. You have this big 30-second. I don't like this. I wouldn't have really entered here, but I'm sure you could have entered somewhere in like this inverse or something, right? To go target that low. Maybe you could have added to your position in here if you shorted up here. There's many ways you could have played it, but in my opinion, this was the clean setup of the day. Once we took that high, this placed lower, pulled back to discount of the range, short, boom, targeting down here. So, maybe you put your stop above consequent encroachment of this wick or something to be safe, but still would have had pretty good R. So, and that would have been a good trade, 56 points. So, other than that, I didn't really see much opportunity anywhere else in the day. But yeah, so that's that. Not really much to talk about. And yeah, so again, I am bearish going into the day tomorrow. I believe that we have most likely sparked sell side of the curve to take this low. Especially since we generated that liquidity down there. So maybe we'll have to see what happens in the overnight session. Maybe we'll have, you sort of have this inverse 1 hour along with this 1 hour fair value gap. So, maybe we come back into this area, take out some of the buy side that we generated here throughout the day, and have a move lower from there, or who knows, maybe we just sell off, because the overnight sessions seem to be where we have a lot of the price movement, unfortunately. So we'll see. But anyway, I hope you made some money, hope you did well, stayed disciplined, stuck to your plan. With that, like usual, if I take a trade tomorrow, I'll make another video. So enjoy your night. Peace out.